A couple of weeks ago, one of my buddies was coming in from out of town, so I decided that I was going to try to get all of my chores done, and so I could play once he got here. And generally, when I'm doing the work that I need to do, I don't listen to any music. I just take that time to reflect and think and do whatever needs to be done. But this particular day, I was listening to a podcast, and I put my headphones in. About probably 2 hours into it, wasn't really paying attention. I was working in my garden, and all of a sudden I feel cold steel against my neck. And as the thoughts flew through my mind, I realized I got caught slipping. And in the moment that I had that realization, pulled my headphones out and I heard my buddy laughing. And he said, it's such a simple word. Situational awareness, brother. Situational awareness.
Who wants to be king?
Welcome back to the war room, gentlemen. I'm out here in the backyard doing some range training, so I apologize in advance for the noise. The wind is blowing a little bit today. What I want to talk about today is something I think is very important, especially with the times that we have, where it seems that in certain places the leaders, the so-called leaders, are all but sanctioning the purge with the snatch and grab that's being allowed on the West Coast, and you know, all of the strong arm robberies and just people running up on folks in their house, and it's all over the place. It seems to be every time you turn on any news outlet, there's going to be some story about somebody who was putting their groceries up or minding their own business, and then some punk thug rolls up on them, and if they're lucky, they just take their stuff. But a lot of people, they're taking their life. I speak a lot about men being capable physically, and that's something that's, I think, is very important. Every man needs to be physically strong. That's something that, I'm not saying you need to be a meathead, knuckle dragger, or any of that, but you should be able to take care of your business as a man. You should be able to, at least at a minimum, you should be able to lift your body weight and move it around. But a lot of people don't have the ability to do that. We've gotten really, really soft. But that's not really what I'm talking about today. What I want to talk to you guys about is situational awareness. Because of the dudes that I surround myself with, we play different games than most people do. Anytime I go into a public space, I scan the room. Anytime I go around people I don't know, that's what I do. I scan my surroundings, and I look for possible threats. And basically what that means, you got to profile people, because people pretty much let you know who they are by the way they carry themselves, by the way they roll up on you. And the videos that I've seen of these, I don't know what you want to call them, these animals that decide that other people's stuff belongs to them, they're not real sneaky about it. And somebody who was paying attention would probably end up busting that ass if they were prepared. But the way things are going, I got a feeling that it's only going to escalate, because the way that they're crashing the economy on purpose, stirring all the bees up, making everybody hate each other, this is all designed to be a perfect storm. So once they complete their plan, they can go, oh my God, look, everything's out of control, and they can bring in the next order. But in the meantime, we got to protect ourselves. We got to pay attention. And so this is what I want you guys to start doing if you don't do it. Start keeping your eyes open. Put your head on a swivel whenever you come out of a building. Whenever you go into a building, make sure you know where all the exits are. Whenever I go eat dinner, or whenever I go to a restaurant, whenever I go anywhere where I'm going to seat myself, I always find a corner and I position myself such that I can see everything coming and going, and I know where the exits are. And one of the games that me and my buddies play is what would you do if? And it always entails some dummy rolling in and, committing some form of imposition on the people in an establishment. And basically it's just a test, it's a drill. And those are the games that we play. How would you get out? What would you do? Who's the biggest threat in the room? Those games, once you get used to playing them, it becomes automatic. You learn how to hone in on people's energy and you can see things. Most people who pull these things off aren't very smart. They're not intelligent. Even if it's a coordinated attack, if you're paying attention, you can see the things coming. But one of the things that I think a lot of men are going to have to pay attention to, and one of the things that's going to be the biggest threat coming forward and going into this next rotation of whatever it is that we are doing here, is going to be a threat that a lot of men won't see coming. When I was a young dude and I was doing the devil's work, there were several ways to get things done. We could do it the aggressive way with direct physical contact and really run the risk of catching a case that we didn't really want to catch. We didn't really want to do that, but there was a mission that needed to be accomplished. And, we always look to do it the smoothest way. And the way that we found the most effective, the tool, the weapon, the weakness that we touched on the men that needed our attention was with women. That's the easiest way to get a man to put his guard down. And I see that happening right now. I think it was in LA, somewhere in California, I believe. I'm not sure. But there's a video of a woman that's your typical Instagram thought, Kim Kardashian, fake booty, doll, bone doll wannabe, typical Instagram thought. And some old dude with money, and you could tell old boy thought he was hitting a home run. He thought he was getting it because he was fixing to pay for that box. And about 15 minutes after they popped the wine, homie was asleep. And he woke up the next morning at 9 o'clock and all of his shit was gone. And they got a video of this girl skating out. And, I'm quite sure she probably did that on her own. But it wouldn't be surprising to me at all if this girl had a boyfriend that facilitated that. I look at the whole OnlyFans and all of this online pimping that these girls are doing. I mean, there's a lot of dudes who have made a lot of money. Tate's done that. I mean, if they're gonna spend their money online, with a fantasy, if a dude's gonna facilitate that, that's just online pimping. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what was going on, if that happened. But they don't need a pimp. It's weapons hot, and a lot of dudes wouldn't see that coming. A lot of cats wouldn't see that coming. And as a matter of fact, a lot of men who watch these channels that are looking for answers for things that have already happened to them, they really need to keep your guard up. You have to keep your guard up right now, because people are going to start entering into a space where life gets really uncomfortable. They've given away a lot of money. They've forced weak people into believing that there was a free lunch. And once they start realizing that there's no free lunch, people are going to get real desperate. And so your situational awareness isn't just about some group of monstrous animals coming and trying to jack your groceries or get you at the ATM machine or any of that. That's the easy spot. What you got to be aware of is the infiltration of man's biggest weakness since Adam, the woman. That's where you need to be on heightened alert, because oftentimes, if not all the time, if it looks too good to be true, if it seems unreal, it is. And you can't really be falling for the banana in the tailpipe with all the information that's out. All the information, all the proof, all the stuff that's been regurgitated, added in, just ad nauseum, over and over again. If you're here, you know how it goes. Right now, gentlemen, weak men have created very hard times. It might not feel like it right now, but give it a couple of months and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Put down the smart devices, lift your head up, stop paying attention to things that don't matter, and make sure that nobody can sneak up behind you and knock you over the head and take what you got. Out.